Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting straight into something really critical for keeping yourself safe online, especially now in 2025.
Yeah, we're talking about passwords. Specifically, why using the same one everywhere is, well, a seriously bad idea.
Exactly. We've been looking at this great article from muckypaws.com called One Password to Rule Them All. Why, that's a terrible idea in 2025.
And it lays out the risks pretty clearly.
So our mission today is basically this. Understand why reusing passwords is so risky, and then figure out some practical steps you can actually take without getting bogged down in tech jargon.
Right, because the article mentions people find it tough, too many passwords to remember.
Yeah, or they're not sure about password managers if they're really safe.
Or it just feels, complicated.
We get it, but we're going to try and simplify things a bit.
Absolutely. And look, it can feel like a pain managing lots of passwords, no doubt.
But things have changed so much online, haven't they?
Massively.
Yeah.
The article makes this really good comparison, thinking back to the 90s. Remember, you probably had, one email address? Maybe a dial-up login?
Oh, dial-up? Wow, yeah. My digital footprint was tiny back then.
Exactly. Minimal. But fast forward to today, 2025.
It's completely different. It accounts for shopping, social media, streaming, banking, utilities.
Even ordering coffee sometimes needs a login. It's everywhere.
So using the same password across all of that, the article uses this analogy. It's like having one key for your house, car, office, bike lock, and then just leaving that single key under the doormat.
Oof. Yeah, that paints a picture. Anyone could grab it.
And that's the problem online, too. If one door gets unlocked,
all the others are suddenly wide open, which leads into this thing the article discusses called credential stuffing.
Right. That sounds a bit technical, maybe.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us? What is credential stuffing?
Sure. So imagine some website you used years ago gets breached, maybe something you totally forgot about.
Okay.
And your email and password from that site leak out. Now you might think, who cares? It wasn't important.
Yeah, I can see people thinking that.
But if you use that same password on other, more important sites,
okay. I see where this is going.
attackers grab those leaked lists, email and password combos, and they use automated tools.
Automated tools?
Yeah, software that just tries logging into thousands of other websites, banks, email providers, shopping sites, using those stolen credentials super fast.
So they're just stuffing your leaked credentials into other login forms, hoping for a match.
Exactly. That's credential stuffing. And the article points out this isn't like elite hacker stuff anymore. These tools are pretty easy to get hold of.
Wow. So it's not targeted necessarily. It's just automated attempts on a huge scale.
Pretty much. It's a numbers game. They cast a really wide net,
Yeah.
taking advantage of all the data that's leaked from breaches over the years.
And there have been so many breaches. The article mentions the author's own experience with that big Adobe breach.
Yeah, that was a huge one way back. A real wake-up call for many.
And since then,
Yeah,
the list is just massive. LinkedIn.
twice, actually, 2012 and 2016.
Right. Dropbox had that massive one revealed in 2016.
eBay, Ticketmaster UK in 2018. The list goes on and on. These aren't small sites.
Millions of accounts affected. And it's
There's-
not just the password that gets leaked, is it?
No, that's a crucial point the article makes. Breaches often expose more. Your email, sure, maybe the password hash.
But also things like your home address, phone number.
Sometimes date of birth, maybe even bits of payment details. It varies, but each piece is valuable to attackers.
Right. For identity theft, fraud, all sorts of nasty stuff.
Definitely sobering.
It is. But, okay, on a slightly more positive note, how can you even know if your details have been caught up in one of these breaches? The article mentions a tool.
Yes, have I been pwned? Really useful.
How does that work? Is it safe to use?
Yeah, it's safe. It's run by a well-respected security researcher. You just go to the website, type in your email address.
Okay.
And it checks its database, which compiles info from publicly known data breaches to see if your email address shows up.
So it tells you which breaches your email was found in.
Exactly. It's a good way to get a heads up, like the article says. So you know which accounts definitely need a password change.
Good to know. So, you find out you've been crowned, you need to change passwords. Which brings us back to the problem of having unique ones.
But there are ways to manage this. The article highlights two big ones. First up, two-factor authentication. 2FA.
2FA. I see that option everywhere now. What is it exactly for anyone unsure?
Think of it as a second lock on your account door after you put in your password.
Which might have been leaked.
Right. Even if someone has your password, 2FA asks for something else. Usually it's a code.
Like the one sent to your phone via text. Or from an authenticator app.
Exactly that. So the hacker might have your password, but unless they also have your phone right there and then,
They can't get in.
it stops them cold. It's a really effective layer.
And the article mentions it's usually not that hard to turn on, right?
Generally, no. You just need to look in your account settings, usually under security or maybe login verification. A few clicks, and it's often done.
Okay, so 2FA is definitely step one. What's the other big solution the article pushes?
Password managers.
Right. And this is where some people hesitate, isn't it? That all my eggs in one basket worry the article mentioned.
It is a common concern. Why trust one app with all your passwords?
Yeah, it feels counterintuitive at first.
But the article explains it well. Think of the password manager like a super secure digital vault.
Okay, a vault?
And that vault is locked with something only you have, or maybe your fingerprint, Face ID, or one single very strong master password.
Gotcha. One strong password to protect all the others.
Precisely. And inside that vault, the manager creates and stores unique, really complex passwords for every single website you use.
So if one site gets breached, they only get the password for that site. The rest are safe in the vault.
Exactly. It contains the damage. And honestly, like you said earlier, remembering dozens of complex, unique passwords, it's basically impossible for most humans.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't do it. I used to try. It was a nightmare.
And what's interesting, as the article points out, is that most people probably already have a password manager on their phone.
Oh, like the built-in ones.
Yeah. Apple's got Keychain baked into iPhones and Macs. Android has Google Password Manager.
And those are secure.
They are. They're encrypted and tied to your device's security or your Apple Google account security.
And they sync. Right. Save a password on your phone. It's there on your tablet or computer.
Apple Keychain syncs via iCloud. Google Password Manager syncs via your Google account and works in Chrome even on Windows, which is handy.
So the convenience factor is huge.
Definitely. And if you want more features, or maybe you use a mix of different devices and operating systems.
There are other options.
Yeah, the article mentions good third-party ones like Bitwarden or 1Password.
What's the advantage of those?
They often offer more flexibility, cross-platform support, secure sharing options, things like that. And critically, they use what's called end-to-end encryption, meaning your vault data is encrypted on your device before it's even sent to their servers for syncing. Only you, with your master password, can decrypt it.
So even the password manager company can't see your actual password.
Correct. They just store the encrypted blob. It really is a much, much safer way than reusing password 123 everywhere.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's try and boil this down. Actionable steps for listeners based on the article.
Right. First, use a password manager. Start with the one built into your phone if you're hesitant. Just start.
Okay. Step 1, password manager. Step 2.
Sign up for those alerts from Have I Been Pwned. It's free, it's easy. Know if your email pops up in a breach.
Good one. Step 3.
Turn on 2FA, two-factor authentication, everywhere you can, especially on important accounts like email and banking.
Makes sense. That extra code is powerful.
What else? The article suggests maybe using separate email addresses for really critical accounts versus, say, random forums. Adds another layer of separation.
That's smart. And cleaning house.
Yeah, reviewing old online accounts you don't use anymore and just deleting them reduces your overall exposure if they get breached later.
Good digital hygiene. And finally,
share this info, tell your friends, family. Lots of people are still reusing passwords.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a great summary.
It all comes down to moving away from that single weak point.
Yeah, the core message is pretty clear, isn't it? One key should not unlock your entire digital life.
Definitely not.
And you really don't need to be some kind of cybersecurity guru to make yourself a lot safer.
Not at all. The tools are there. They're often free or built in and much easier to use than people think. The risks are real, but the solutions are manageable.
Well said. So maybe a final thought for people listening.
Okay, here's something to mull over. Think right now. Which of your online accounts is the most sensitive? Your main email, online banking, health records maybe? As your very first step, today, go check that account. Does it have a strong, unique password stored in the manager? Is 2FA turned on?
Make that one priority number one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And really think, what would actually happen? What would the consequences be for you if that single most critical account got compromised tomorrow?
Oof. Yeah.
Letting that sink in might be the best motivation to get started.